I've seen so many YouTubers do creative stuff, and I thought, you know what, fuck it, I want to do that too. So I have these 2 Pokemon figures and I want to make a base for them because that sounds easy. I can't mess that up, right? So I started by making a base for my base. I used a foam base that was the cheapest one because there's cardboard on each side. I don't know what the difference is except there's cardboard. Turns out cutting the foam was more annoying than I thought it would be. I don't know if it's just me who's terrible at what I'm doing, the knife is bad, or it's just really retarded to use that kind of foam in cut out pieces. Here I noticed that the cardboard isn't perfectly squared, so I had to cut it, otherwise I know my artistic ass wouldn't let me sleep at night. The clay is just the cheapest clay I could find because I like to save money, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this for a while or just a couple of times. But anyways, doing the clay work, it turns out the clay is easier to work with if it's wet, but that's gonna take me a couple of weeks before I learn that. I'm dumb apparently.
I'm kind of a dumbass.
As a lot of other elderly people, I really like Pokemon since I grew up with it. Except for Ampharos, I really hate that fucker. Is there any Pokemon you hate for no explainable reason? Every tool I use is something I bought from a cheap Chinese website because you know that's where you get the good stuff. It takes me a couple of tries with the rollers because I'm actually mentally slower than a dead grandma. But yeah, once I figured it out after turn 4, it actually went pretty well. And now you're thinking, oh, that actually looks pretty good. Well, you're wrong. I'm gonna start over. You're probably thinking I should put the clay in the oven, but no, I'm not. I don't have one of those fancy tiny kid ovens. I have a big boy oven because I'm a big boy. So I'm just gonna let the clay dry on its own.
1 week later.
Off screen, I pushed in the Pikachu's peg onto the ground so I had a place to put it, but that would turn out to be a mistake. I then made sure that it fit perfectly before I glued it on, and then cut off the overhang because I know that's going to annoy the fuck out of me. Luckily having cardboard on the foam actually helped me here because I could use super glue. Otherwise the super glue would just melt the foam because science, I guess.
It's science.
I also tried to make a wooden border about the base, but that was so fucking annoying and I didn't have the tools to make it properly, so I decided I just want to say fuck it. I wasted my time doing it, and you should waste yours watching it. I start off with a gray primer because since I wanted gray, that makes most sense. See, I told you it was a primer. I'm just gonna speed up the footage because me using gray on white isn't that exciting. I then mixed in some white in the gray primer so I could do some dry brushing. Dry brushing is an easy and great way to make highlights simply without having to be an expert in it. It's also a great way to waste paint. After that I decided I wanted some grass between the tiles, so I thought I was being smart by just using the brush to put some glue between the tiles and then put the grass on it. Turns out that didn't work, so I got a bit of grass everywhere, but yeah, it works, it's fine.
This is fine.
I also used pre-purchased bushes. I lost the footage of me gluing the figures on. Something also happened that I thought would be a problem, but it turned out to be a making the peg hole limited where I could put the Pikachu, so I didn't have the possibility to actually mix it and anyways, here's the reenactment. I was forced to put Pikachu in the peg spot. but he tripped and left a mark. But I covered it up with a bush.
Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
Little Pikachu in, and I was done. I was pretty happy with the result. I thought it looked pretty good, and as my first try at this, I was actually pretty happy with it. It won't be the last time I'm doing something like this. Maybe something bigger next time. Anyways, the shadows are getting long. Bye. Can we all agree Ampharos just fucking sucks?